Wait, where was Luca this episode?
Hey, whoa, whoa.
Hey y'all, it's producer, and today I'm going over episode 11 of Grownish, Safe and Sound. And let's just get right into it. So they started talking about like the different accomplishments, well not accomplishments, the different things like generations have done. Like Gen X has brought MTV, and millennials have brought freaking a Facebook. But like then they used it to talk about safe spaces and how we're the most sensitive. I mean, they did talk about other positive. I mean, not other positive things. But I don't know. I hate this whole rhetoric that Generation Z or whatever the fuck I'm in, whatever you want to call it. We're the most sensitive or whatever. Well, really, first of all, let's be clear. They're not just talking about my generation. They're talking about millennials because I'm pretty like they y'all talk about college students and then talk about millennials, right? And then be shook when I'm like, bitch, I'm not a millennial because bitch, I'm not in college. Like you hoes talk about, you know what, never mind. This is more of a rant on the word millennial and how it's just a scapegoat for most people's problems. But you know what? We ain't talking about that. We talking about grownish. And let's just skip that because that was really irritating me. So anyway, Hawkins Hall, the black dorm, which I don't know how they have a black dorm. I don't know if it's because every black person chose to be there, or if there was like hey, there's a black dorm. If you want, we have one for you. You don't have to go here, but we have one here. However they have it, they have a black dorm. It's called Hawkins, just like in Dear White People, Anderson's Parker. And it's being shut down because a couple people were feeling uncomfortable with it, which I think is ironic because that's the whole point of Hawkins, because they felt uncomfortable being the only, according to Aaron, 4% people on campus. But whatever. So they're like, oh, BDSM. Bad name. BDSM. That was so dumb. But so they're trying to organize a protest for this. And Zoe's all in this getup, and she doesn't care about the cost. She just cares about looking cute and having a nice pro-black. I'm surprised you don't have a pro-black profile photo, but I mean not photo filter. But oh well. And then so it's interesting how she says no one was dumb enough to give Nomi a job. What does that have to do with anything? Nomi is white, sure, and she has said some ignorant things, but what this episode has showed is that Anna is ignorant too, if not even more ignorant. And I don't know why I said Anna, her name was Anna, but I don't know why that even matters. Nomi's a lot more, I guess less problematic than Anna. But yes, let's get into that. So Anna's talking about there should be like a place for conservatives to speak conservative stuff. And Aaron's like, no, you shouldn't. And I think that's hypocritical. But at the same time, he was like, your safe space is Congress. And every place where he said NASCAR, your safe space is Congress. Then the twins were like the AM radio. Homegirl was talking about Cracker Barrel. Then the twins were like the Reddit threads. I'm like, oh shoot, they right. And she's right. Y'all should have a place we call. I don't know why you should call it a safe space though, because that implies you're having an echo chamber. But I mean, some of you hoes do want echo chambers. And then they start getting into a fight between Anna and Aaron, and it was really dumb because he was generalizing. But again, he did have a point for most of those things. But again, he shouldn't generalize because Anna did not represent those thoughts so far. But then she really tried it. She said they're the most oppressed people. Girl, no, you ain't. No, you ain't. And then you were like in California, the people who are oppressed, they can't do concealed carry. And I'm sorry, but as the founder and president of my high school's BSU, I gotta have to call BS on you. Don't you fucking try it. Because in 1967, Californian Republican Governor Ronald Reagan signed the Mulford Act, which prohibited open carrying rights. Well, I guess maybe it's rights because it's the Second Amendment. And you want to know why such a Republican would do such a thing? because they were afraid of minorities arming themselves. Anna, see, this is why he was like, I don't see how you're a Latina and a Republican, because Republicans stay coming for people of color. Like, yeah, just a little side note. If you look at Cuba's demographics, Cubans are three things. They're either white, they're mulatto, or mixed. I don't know why they call them mulatto, but maybe it's a Cuban thing. Or just black. Homegirl is not giving me mulatto or black teas, so Homegirl may have some native in her, but for the most part, Anna, why are you doing that? Anna is white. So you're Latina, but you're white, which which makes sense. I mean, the lighter the Latino, the more likely they're Republican, and that really just works for any ethnicity, especially Americans. Well, actually, that's more of a nationality than ethnicity. But you know what? That doesn't matter. That's the tea. But yeah, she was really trying it this episode. Really, I have to keep going back to this. How are conservatives the most oppressed people? How? First of all, let's go to what Aaron said later on in the episode. No one knows your political affiliation till you say it. We will forever be black. You tried it. You tried it. Anyway, so because of this, they have this oppression Olympics contest. I'm like, y'all are dumb. And then so Zoe's crying for no real reason. Zoe, get over it. And then Luca sees her. She's like, why are you down? She's like, oh, everyone's talking about safe spaces. And I do agree with Luca. He was like, safe spaces are dumb. People need to learn to be uncomfortable. I mean, people need to learn to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. That makes sense. However, he was like, your generation's softer than Drake. You're the same generation as her. You're like the same age. And again, I'm not going to get into this. How are we the softest generation? Because we refuse for some things to be done that some people just, oh, this is acceptable. How? But I'm not even going to get into that. Maybe that'll be a poem for y'all. Be on the lookout. But yeah, so after this, there's like protest tension because Anna decides with her petty ass to protest in the same day, same time, and same place as Aaron's protest. Girl, like I said, there's nothing wrong if you having a conservative spot, but if you want to be a petty ass bitch and freaking protest in the same, no, no, Anna, you tried it. And then, what did I say? Oh yeah. So yeah. Why did I say it twice? The protest for both of them start to have a downfall because she takes Aaron's poster, he rips it up, and then because of this, they get in trouble, and basically everything that's like considered a safe space gets shut down. So the international dorm, the athletic dorm, the LGBTQ plus dorm, and of course the black dorm, all of them are getting shut down, which is wild. The athletic dorm counts as a safe space? Oh, you're didn't we not learn from episode 4 that this college really needs their athletics? I just realized how my lighting is diminishing. Hold up, I'll be back. Okay, I look slightly better. Okay, so that doesn't make any sense. But anyway, they're shutting that down. And then Why do I keep saying it? Zoe looks at Anna and he's like, oh, this is your fault. And she's like, what do you mean? I didn't incite the riot. I was practicing my free speech. Last time I checked, when you cross the line and rip up someone else's freaking poster, and then other people think that's okay. Oh snap, we can start fighting now. That technically counts as inciting a riot. Girl, this wasn't a semantics issue. You actually incited the riot. I don't know why she's making these stupid white Latina tears. Girl, if you don't stop it. And then, she starts to be like, oh, it's free speech isn't a buzzword. It's a human right. My granddad is in jail in Cuba for now 5 years because he said one thing that the government didn't like. And I'm like, okay, we get that we need free speech, but I don't get why you're so aggressive about it. Sure, Aaron should have respected it a bit more, but you're being unnecessarily aggressive. And then she starts talking about politics to Zoe so she can see her mindset. And this bothers me because Zoe's like, everything's not too black and white. Anna is a Republican that believes in gay rights and global warming. I mean, not global warming, climate change. I'm like, okay, so girl, if you're a Republican, you're not that conservative, are you? These are liberal ideas. People interchange Republican and conservative more than they really should. Homegirl, you're a liberal. Yeah, I know. She can be in the middle. It's not like liberal or conservative, but like you can't be that conservative believing these types of things. I mean, like you could talk about like Milo Yiannopoulos, but like Milo Yiannopoulos is a joke. Didn't the man just condone pedophilia? You know what? Never mind. This ain't about him. But anyway, yeah. So Zoe tries to tell Aaron what homegirl said, and Aaron's like, "No, I ain't having it." And he says something like, "Oh, I'm black all the time. She can choose to hide her Republicanness," which I don't even know why we're talking about hiding Republicanness, because people are saying that like we learned that Anna is a Republican, but we didn't learn this. This was known day one, day freaking one. I want to see a side episode with Aaron and Anna talking about Obama, since she likes Obama, but she's a Republican. But I guess that's not gonna happen since they have this tension. But yeah, and Aaron's like, I want this dorm because there's only 4% black people here, and we should have a space so we don't feel so isolated. And I'm like, okay, that makes sense. But why does Zoe not know that? Girl, I know you racially, and well, not racially ambiguous, but I know you're biracial. But how do you really how can I tell your own people? Oh, there's like 75% of my friends are black, so girl, no, that's not how it works. And that's also my argument to why people are like, oh, this isn't like a different world. It's not black enough. This is an HBCU. Okay, the show's pretty black though. It has a lot of black writers and black directors and black actors on the show. There aren't too many white people on this freaking show, which I don't know why people are so turned off by it anyway. There's nothing wrong with white people. And then I guess maybe in HBCU, you're not going to get this diversity. Like, how many Jews do you find in HBCU? Maybe that's the thing. But still, I thought it was dumb. Because the whole point is to represent the college experience. And most people go to PWIs. So that's what it is. Which, by the way, speaking of diverse, again, where was Vivek this episode? As a person of color, unlike Anna, who is definitely a person of color. No debates about it. It would be interesting, especially since he was low-key like Malcolm X, but he was also on that racial fetish fuck shit. But I would have been curious what he had to say, but he was absent as hell. But anyway, yeah. What the fuck is this? Oh, it says Zoe's talk. I can't read my own handwriting. But yeah, so Zoe tries to talk to both sides so they can see each other's points. And they sort of did. And the twins were like, oh, but why you got to do that? We want to see a fight. And I was like, uh-oh. The twins were in this episode enough either. And Luca. Even though Luca was sort of annoying. But yeah, it was very interesting. And then so the episode ends with a nice unity. Okay, a weird unity message. I say weird because there is... How do I know that Anna isn't still ignorant? How do I know? Like, sure, she'll learn to listen more, and Aaron will learn how to listen more, which I guess is important. I mean, that's the main message. But let's not talk about unity when, how do I know that Anna's still not going to go back and say that she's the most oppressed person because she's a conservative? I don't like that message. That pretty much supports being ignorant. Oh, as long as you listen to me, I accept your ignorance because we're friends. No. We gotta talk through this more. But yeah, it ends on that, and then there's like a side sort of end scene with like Aaron and Zoe, and it feels like they're trying to set this up as like a love interest thing, and I'm like, Zoe, just be by yourself. You already eyeing Luca last episode. But yeah, I thought this episode was real interesting because they tried to like make black people, because like I said, this is for this has a predominantly black audience, like I'm not grownish, like conservatives or respect them more, but Black Twitter was not having it. They was not having it. I was signing out on my feed, and I'm seeing with other YouTubers, they're like they really didn't like this episode. And I'm like, wow, it sort of failed. But yeah, that was my review. What did y'all think about it? Tell me in the comments below. And I will see y'all whenever. Adios.